Hi there. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about client.js again, and more specifically Sapper.goto. And just as a reminder, client.js is just a normal JavaScript file that gets pulled into the HTML, just like the basic script tag syntax, and then it can run on the client, and it starts the Sapper app here. Okay, so after Sapper.start, this returns a promise, and then you can do whatever you want in here. You could do something out here, but it's probably better to put it after the app has started. So here, Sapper.goto, so inside .then, it'll take you to this URL and then return a promise. So it takes you to this URL, and then it'll run this function. So if you can guess what this does, it basically just forces whoever is using it to go to the base. So it'll go there for a second, but then it'll redirect you straight to there. Okay, so it redirects you. Then you can do whatever you want on that page. So in this case, it's setting button handlers. So I've got two options. You can say yes or no. So if you say yes, it'll come here and say big mistake. So one thing you need to notice is that it used goto to redirect to about, and then it set some styles here. So here's two styles it set, and here are two styles it set. These two are going to be permanent. These are going to be temporary because these are just on the page. So it says big mistake 5 rem. So if I leave and come back, that'll be gone. So now it's just about the site like before. And the reason for that is because Sapper is re-rendering this page, and this page looks like this. Okay, this was just something you did after you got to the page, but that's not really what the page is. So the reason that the body is black and red and that stays the same is because that is actually changing the body directly, okay? So the Sapper app is inside here, and these are more permanent because this is directly to the body. Okay, so another thing following that logic, so I've got two button handlers on here that I set in client.js. If I leave and I come back, they will be broken. So I can no longer press yes or no. Okay, again, so that's because this client.js is just run once. So after it start, Sapper.goto, .then, set button handlers, it puts those handlers on here, but then when you come back to them, these are completely new buttons, like it's been re-rendered as the original page, okay? So goto will let you go to a URL and change it as you like. So, you might have like two different buttons or something, and you want to Sapper goto, and then depending on the button, you want to turn this orange or turn it blue. Okay, that's kind of what I'm doing here. So based on what I press, it'll take me to about. So if I say yes, or no, whoops, that's what I pressed before. If I say no, it'll take me to about again, but then it will do a bunch of other different stuff. Okay, so that's what's happening down here. It's changing the body like this and making it smaller with a transition, but it's also making this big smiley appear. And then they just can't do anything, so they're stuck. Okay, so another thing you can do, I hope that's making sense, you can actually import this directly into your index.svelte. If I have a script. Yeah, so you could import this directly here, and then use Sapper.goto on here. Okay, that way your buttons won't be destroyed. Okay, and maybe that's just what I should do in the first place. So maybe it doesn't even matter, client.js. I can just put this directly in here. Okay, so the video's pretty much over. I'm just going to try this out, see if this works, because I haven't tested this. So let's see if we can set button handlers just directly from within the index. That way it doesn't break when you leave index. But maybe you want it to break, or maybe you want it only to be there the first time and then not the second time. So there's different use cases for this. I'm not sure what the best use case is. Okay, so here we'd have to do something like, okay, so it's just setting button handlers. And I don't think this needs to be async because the await is already in this async function. So set button handlers, we'll do that on mount. So import on mount from svelte, and on mount we will set button handlers. Okay, so let's see if that makes it, let's see if that breaks things. Okay, so it'll still, so I'm still forcing them to go to the root by doing this. And let's say I say yes. Okay, cool. So that seems to still work. Let's see if these are broken though. So can I, cool. So yeah, so now they're still working. So every time I run this, whenever it gets loaded, it'll set these button handlers again. And now I can have this red and black and then go to no, and it'll go to good choice, but it'll stay black because that's how it was from before. Cool. So yeah, feel free to also just import like this into any component and use sapper.goto as you like. It doesn't have to be in client.js. So that's cool. Okay, hope that made sense. It can be a bit confusing, but let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please like and subscribe, and I do have a Patreon if you want to contribute. Okay, thanks. Bye.